Hey everybody, good afternoon, man. It's Joe Donnegan with Heroes of Rock, and I'm glad to be back with you again. And today is episode 3 of I Gotta Do This, so now I am. And it's about the journey of this 64-year-old guitar player of almost 50 years who first heard Eddie Van Halen's Eruption solo on the Van Halen 1 album back in the summer of 1978. My jaw dropped to the floor, and I literally said, I gotta do that. Well, so now I am. And I'm taking on this challenge. Again, I'm 64 years old. And this series right now is basically me working up to playing it live someday, hopefully within the next few weeks, maybe a couple of months. I first started learning how to play the Eruption solo actually sometime last year. I actually made a couple of videos on it and had totally forgotten all about it. And again, I told you that my mother passed away at Christmas time last year, and I kind of had to put things down. And after the dust all settled and everything, I decided to pick the guitar up again and start doing some videos. And I kind of officially launched my challenge just a few short weeks ago. But today, we're going to talk about Eddie's picking technique, and then you're also going to see too that those first couple of licks that are just super blazing fast. It's kind of a rolling open string lick that I've showed you before. It goes something like this. So Eddie's, I showed you before that Eddie does, it's an up pick. And of course he's using his thumb and middle finger, and he sometimes will just lean the first finger on there to just do something with it, I'm assuming. And of course, when he does that tremolo picking, he has a more angle like this. Which I have not mastered yet. I'm gonna try it out for a couple of weeks, but it's hard because your hand's not leaning up against the strings, which is what I'm used to. And so on and so forth. So, at any rate, today we're talking about this picking technique. It actually does something really cool. Helps you get those pitch harmonics that Eddie's so famous for a lot easier. And the thing I like about it is my first finger has been super, super sore trying to do Eddie's aggressive picking attack, and it's still sore after a couple of weeks. It's funny, but I've been doing the middle finger pick grip since yesterday. By the way, I want to give props to Tom Shreds on YouTube. I stumbled across his video, Eddie's pick grip, and it really, I thought, well, I want to try that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of working it out right now, but it actually, works pretty cool. It with that tremolo picking that Eddie does. So I'm trying this out for a few weeks, but one thing I want to show you is my progress on the trills that Eddie does in the third phase, what I call the third phase. I'm still working on speed, but basically Eddie does this. I'll play it slow. And then He does that kind of walk down. So as I said in a previous video, I had an injury to my elbow a long time ago, and it for some reason my third finger, which is always slower than all the other fingers for some reason, I've just had trouble. So I've been working on progress, and earlier today I was actually able to get it up to 160 beats a minute with one full measure of 16th notes. So, 16th note being, that was one full measure at a slow pace, right? So I'm working on it at 100 beats a minute, and I'm going to start the metronome here, and I'll just show you what I've been doing. I'm trying to do this without having any tension. And then what I'll do is I'll speed it up 10 beats a minute. I'm concentrating on not tensing up. And then I'll go 10 more beats to 120. I'm trying to isolate the finger alone. Yep. I'm trying to isolate just my middle finger alone. And I'm just trying to relax my whole hand, my forearm, my upper arm, and my shoulder, and trying not to tense up my upper body, my chest and stuff like that. And then also too, the picking arm's got to be very, very relaxed as well. So now I'm going to go on to 130. So I'm tensing up, I can tell, so I'm not quite warmed up yet. All right, so that's 140 beats a minute right there. I'm going to go to 150 now. As it gets faster, it gets harder because I'm finding myself tensing up. But what I am thinking about when I'm doing this is I'm actually telling myself just to relax. And I'm trying to, communicate with my hand, my arms, and my arm and my shoulder to just relax. Because when you relax, you find that your motion is much more methodical, exact, and on top of that, you notice you're not having to pull off very far from the string at all when you relax, and that gives you the ability to play faster instead of flying back here like that. That doesn't work. So we're going to go to 160 beats a minute now. All right, I'm going to go to 170. I think I was probably off time there. It was probably more like about 165. But I'm making progress because I've only been doing this for about a week or so. Now I'm going to go on to the open string and hammer on from nowhere lick that Eddie does. I'm going to slow way down for that one. I'm going to do it at 107. I'm going to start it at 70 beats a minute just so you can see what Eddie's doing. And I'm trying to get a good balance of palm mute too. So, and it's a rolling lick. It's a rolling lick. So once you get the hang of it, it's not that hard. What I introduced yesterday was the up pick, and I was actually up pick down on that where the hammer-on from nowhere comes from. But now, if you'll notice, I'm just doing just a hammer-on, and that's it. I'm not picking it. And it was a tongue twister for me yesterday, especially after incorporating Eddie's picking technique into it. But I'm finding too that as I practice it more and more, I don't have to think about it all that much. So it's getting better and better. At any rate, now we're going to go to 80 beats a minute on this. Let me just pick it out right there. I'm trying to adjust my hand around to get the right amount of pick mute or palm mute. I'm going to go to 90. And you can hear the phase 90 in the helix working really cool in there. That's kind of accenting those notes. Now I'm going to go to 100. Dropping my shoulders. Making sure that my shoulders stay really relaxed and I'm not tensing up, because that's what's going to get me the speed eventually. And from when I broke the Eruption solo up into stems on moises.com, it's telling me that the Eruption solo is played at 156 beats a minute. I can't even imagine playing it at 156. So here's 152. There's 156 right there. I don't even think I'll get close to it. I can't tell if I think I was off, but that's the goal right there. So that's probably probably how fast, and Eddie might even be doing it faster than that. But I'm going to back down to 110. When it gets faster, you got to really pay attention and keep it clean too, which I'm struggling on just a little bit, but I'm getting there. All right, I'm going to try 120. So that's about as fast as I got this morning when I was trying it. But I would say I'm pretty proud of myself, since it's speeding up. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be able to play the whole first phase of the solo, which goes like this. That's basically the way that part goes. So my deal is I want to bring that up to speed where I can play it like a rock star and play it instead of playing it all tensed up and everything, because eventually I want to play this in a live video. So those are the two licks that I've been working on mainly. That trill is something that I have struggled with all of my guitar playing career. I've never sat down and really been able to take the time to work speed up. But other day I could play it at 178 beats a minute. And, you know, some days I struggle, some days I don't. But this is where I am, y'all. I'm going to end this video now. This is Joe with Heroes of Rock. I'm glad you guys have joined me on this adventure. And soon, you know, hopefully in a few weeks, I think probably next week, I'm going to move on to the second phase of the solo. And I'll show it to you slowly and then show it to you quickly, and how I'm working on licks and trying to get them up to speed, and the techniques I'm learning and stuff like that. The main thing about this video, y'all, was Eddie Van Halen's middle finger and thumb picking technique. It's very strange. That's how he did it. And I'm going to keep working with it. And he doesn't always use that, because it's very hard to do a dive bomb with a whammy bar with just two fingers. But when you hold it, the regular pick with the first finger and thumb, you got all three and pretty much the weight of your hands to be able to do that. So you got a little bit more force there. So he didn't always use that, but he used it quite a bit. And it's apparent in his videos. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me today. And this is Joe signing off with Heroes of Rock.